Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're all well on this... What day is it? Saturday. Forgot what day it was again. But yeah, it's Saturday. Stupendous Saturday. And got rid of some of the blue. The blue was starting to... I think there's a bit too much blue. So, yeah, we've had a bit of a colour change in the background. You'll have to let me know down below whether you like it or whether you prefer the blue. And if you prefer the blue, then just go and watch videos where the blue background's on, because I ain't changing it. Anyway, sneaky. Goncalves family posted a post after the court hearing. And now I can't find it. And I thought, damn it. Didn't look at it, did I? Didn't capture it to bring it to you. Thankfully, though, found it. And I'm going to read it to you. And then I'm going to react to it. And then I'm going to go and sit down. Because that's all the work that I'm doing today. I'm having a rest. Day of rest. So here we go, right? Following the hearing, this is reported by Idaho News 6, by the way. So following the hearing, Kaylee Goncalves' family released the following statement. Unfortunately, today's hearing was business as usual. Yep, certainly was business. The defence claiming they haven't received all the evidence. Now, I'll replace one word there with the evidence proving they haven't received all the evidence in the case, and the prosecution stating, we can't give you it if we don't have it. Exactly. So the I don't know whose side they're on there, but yeah, you're right. Apart from the defence proving that the prosecution are withholding evidence, that's what happened in there. So just tweaking it a little bit to actually make it right. So so we can't give it if we don't have it. Meanwhile, the Attorney General's office sits idly, appearing to be more of a spectator than someone assisting with a prosecution. I do agree with that. Is the defence unaware that they can subpoena records and evidence? Well, are you unaware that the prosecution are hiding behind federal legislation that blocks a lot of the ability for the defence to access stuff that they need to access? And what with the prosecution, like, stating, well, we'll have it by June and stuff like this, and Taylor not kind of putting her foot down as much as she should. But this is the time frame is not the defence's problem. The defense have the right to defend their client to the best of their ability, but they can't defend their client if the prosecution doesn't hand over all of the evidence that they have against the client, which they've proven that they haven't handed it over. Anyway, I'm trying to keep my heart rate down, trying to chill out. Right, so I think I was scrolling while I was sitting there, right? So here we go. So wasn't this hearing supposed to address a motion to compel discovery? Did you not watch the entire hearing then? Because at the end of it, there was about an hour and a half. Half of it was testimony, and the other half was dealing with the motions to compel and saying, well, literally listing off everything they had and everything they didn't have and why they need it. Okay, so I don't even get that. So the literally 50% of the entire hearing was about that. But anyway, who am I to count? So how did it evolve into an attack on the probable cause affidavit, or affidavit? How did it evolve into an attack on the probable cause affidavit? Because that's shit. Because it's a load of rubbish. And the defence still don't have the evidence that supports it. So what the defence are saying is, how could you have subpoenaed our client through a grand jury indictment when we don't even know what you used as evidence to do it? You haven't proven it. You just trust us. He did it. We know he did it. But we can't show you how he did it. You just got to trust us. Good one, dummy. Anyway, so the prosecution's witnesses, training records, and their evidence gathering techniques, because they had a specialist come in who had looked over the evidence that had been gathered and deemed that it was incomplete, insufficient, looked odd, and there was things missing. And we're talking about a guy who's potentially going to be sent to his death. So it's probably a good thing that the defence are doing their job. But anyway, we don't want people being, I don't know, found innocent of anything, do we? The court needs to take control of the case, and the attorneys involved. The court doesn't. Judge John Judge does. Just one guy. He's the guy who needs to take control of his court and start doing his job, rather than getting the likes of Ann Taylor to tell him and hold his little hand like a 5-year-old girl, saying, come on, 1 foot in front of the other, that's how you walk, you dumb twat. As long as the court continues to entertain anything and everything at every hearing, well, they kind of have to address certain things when you've had 13 or 14 motions to compel, and you're still not getting it. It does tend to get to the point where you have to go and have a chat and a sit down. Anyway, the hearings have become Wild West of statements, witnesses, issues, hand-holding of the attorneys. But I think it's more the attorneys hand-holding the judge. Anyway, so Wild West of statements, issues, and hand-holding of the attorneys, and excuses for continued delays. It's not excuses, it's reasons for delays. Not excuses, reasons. You can't go to trial if the defence haven't got everything they need to properly defend their client. And whether you think, and I know that the Goncalves family have this mentality, well, we know Christy does, of she doesn't care, she just wants him to not be breathing anymore, but, you know, he still has to be proven to be guilty before that is justified. At this stage, not justified, you're a psycho if you think that. The victims' families want justice. Of course you do, and you deserve justice, but there's a certain way to go about it. But just as importantly, we want the case to move forward. Yes, it can move forward when everything's obtained what needs to be obtained, so the process works as it should, which is the constitutional right of the accused to have it operate that way. Every hearing is painful to watch. Trust me, I know, I had to watch it twice. Record it, then edit it. So every hearing is painful to watch, and an endless lack of organisation and accountability. Well, but that's not the defence, is it? That's the prosecution who have a lack of anything. They seem to have a lack of knowledge about what actually happened in the case. They either can't remember, or, you know, they think, or not sure. Why isn't the alibi issue being addressed? What do they mean, why isn't the alibi issue being addressed? What, the fact that Bryan Kohberger potentially does have an alibi? Or do you mean that you feel that shouldn't be accounted for, that shouldn't be looked into properly? There isn't an issue with the alibi. The only issue with the alibi is that Bryan Kohberger could potentially have one. But the information around this, they need information from the prosecution, and they won't hand it over. Anyway, what happened to the change of venue issue? We know what's going on with the change of venue issue. The change of venue issue, there's been a hearing set up for that to happen. If you didn't catch my community feed post, they've moved the hearing for the change of, the change of venue. That was always June. The change of venue hearing was already set for June. But now that's been moved from June to August, because the Dr. Edelman, he required, because there was delays and there was the issues around that, again caused by the prosecution, not the defence, it's now been stalled. So he needed an additional 6 weeks, and that's been granted. And you know, they've both sides have agreed. So August, there you go. That's everything. But I know. Do you know what I mean? The family's in pain. I get it, bless them, and they do absolutely deserve justice, and I hope they get it. I genuinely hope they get it, because at this moment in time, I think that they're barking up the wrong tree. I could be proven guilty. I could be proven guilty. Fuck me if I was in Idaho, I'd be proven guilty, wouldn't I? I'd drive around at night and I'll use gloves to touch the bins. I'll put stuff in the neighbour's bin just yesterday. I'll be fucked. Anyway, let me know down below what you think, and I'll catch you all in the next one.